Welcome back to Stuttering Sports. Today is July 12th, 2021, and the topic for today is the Cleveland Browns and why, bar none, hands down, very easily, they have the best roster in the NFL. And why this is their first official year of being a true, legit Super Bowl contender from week one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is obviously coming after the 2020 season where the Browns, they made the playoffs. And not only did they make the playoffs, they whipped the Steelers' ass in the playoffs. And they almost beat the Chiefs, but then Chad Henne went in God mode on that 4th and 2 to win the game for the Chiefs. But yeah, the Browns are here. They're here to play, and for this season, they're a legit Super Bowl contender. But when you look at that roster, not only is it very young, but it also has that good mix of veterans that they've been able to pay throughout the last few years. Just looking at their offense, their main thing is their rushing game, and they have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which is the best running back duo in the NFL right now. And not only do they have those two beasts, their offensive line is the best in the NFL. That rushing game was absurd last year. The offensive line is incredible, and you literally have Nick Chubb. That's all I need to say. That offensive line has Jedrick Wills, who just had a fantastic rookie season, and also Wyatt Teller, who came out of virtually nowhere and murdered it at their right guard position. He fucking killed it. And then they have the veterans in Jack Conklin, J.C. Tretter, and Joel Bitonio. That offensive line, bar none, best in the NFL, and their rushing game is the mainstay of their offense because of it, and their great running back tandem. And when you look at the passing game, they invested a lot of money plus a number 1 overall pick into this passing game. Now, obviously, Baker has the rushing game to lean on, but if both Odell and Jarvis Landry can stay healthy, that would help out Baker's career so much because they're both undeniably talented. People forgot how good Odell Beckham Jr. was. That dude with the Giants was absurd, and there's a reason why he was traded for a first-round pick. And Jabril Peppers, who was just a first-round pick like a year or two before that trade. So the point I'm trying to get to is with that arsenal of weapons to throw it to, you also have Kareem Hunt, who's a great pass-catching back. Baker Mayfield has no excuse not to put up absurd stats if the pass catchers can just stay healthy. And I didn't even talk about Austin Hooper, who they paid and also a crazy amount of money, and also drafted Harrison Bryant during that same offseason. And they still have David Njoku. The amount of pass catchers, if they all stay healthy, that offense, you can't guess what they're going to do. Because, oh my gosh, if they just do play action, they can literally be what like the Rams were when they made the Super Bowl that year. You can't guess what they're going to do because you can't go all in on just the running game or just the passing game because both units are just so lethal. That's my view of the Browns' current offense, and they have Kevin Stefanski, who just won Coach of the Year running it. That is just crazy. The only concern and the only question mark that you can have with the offense is definitely Baker Mayfield. I'm not a Baker Mayfield hater, but I don't think he's the Messiah. I don't think he's the best you can get. He's definitely good, and he's still very young. He is definitely good, but the Browns are putting him in a great spot. So is he kind of like how Jared Goff was in 2017? You could make that comparison, to be completely honest. I'm not saying Baker's bad, but he's put in the most luxurious spot of any quarterback in the NFL. Bar none. And then this is not Baker's fault. I'm not dogging Baker. This is just great management by the Browns. So hell, if they do pay Baker Mayfield big time money, which it could very well happen. I don't know where the fuck they'd get the money because the Browns sign like 2 big names literally every offseason, but they'll make it work somehow. if they sign Baker Mayfield to a big contract, it means they're all for Baker Mayfield being one of the major parts of their culture. Which on one hand is awesome because I really like his confidence, his swagger, if that's still a term that's used. But you know, like that confidence that he has going into games, going into his interviews. I really like that being kind of the poster boy of the Browns as their image. Like, yeah, we're going to go in there. We're going to pay the best players to come to Cleveland. We're going to draft the best players regardless of position, regardless of any other sort of issues. We're going to draft them, bring them into Cleveland, and this is just going to be a melting pot of fantastic players. And I'm all for Baker being kind of the poster boy of the team because he exudes the most confidence, you could say. So, yeah, he has a great rushing game. He has a great arsenal of weapons, and he also has a fantastic defense. Their defense, it has Myles Garrett. That's all you need to say. But not only do they have Myles Garrett, they did sign Jadeveon Clowney, which to me personally isn't that scary. He kind of fucking sucked last year. But looking at the Browns secondary, Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit are two fantastic young players that played phenomenal last year. And then they drafted Greg Newsome, cornerback from TCU, with their first round pick. And then they just went out and signed John Johnson from the Rams. And they still have Troy Hill, by the way. Yeah. And they still have Greedy Williams, who slid to them during the 2019 draft. Like it's kind of crazy how I can just keep going about a secondary unit. That's fucking crazy. This team's secondary, mixed with Myles Garrett, and they also drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's wild. Taki had a great year as well. I cannot get enough of this Browns team and the amount of names that they have. Not only is their offense great, but their defense was a great unit last year. They may not have very big names, especially with the linebacker group, but they have a fantastic secondary, a young linebacker, and in Koramoah. And, well, they have Myles Garrett, who's one of the most disruptive players in the NFL, alongside, like, TJ Watt and Aaron Donald, and probably, like, Chandler Jones. So, yeah, the Browns are fucking absurd. I was just looking at a few rosters today. I was just looking at the Browns roster, and I was like, holy shit, I need to just talk about this for a few minutes. Because, wow, every piece of that roster was either drafted really well for, or they just said, fuck it, we'll spend big money. We will do that, because that's how you build contenders nowadays. You gotta cough up some money. And this Browns team, it's looking fucking absurd. They have a great pass offense. They have a phenomenal rushing offense. They have a great rushing defense. And they have a phenomenal passing defense. It's all here. It may take another year or two to actually reach that Super Bowl because a lot of these players are young. But it's all there right now. It's all there. The Browns, hands down, best roster in the NFL. And two, this is their first time being a Super Bowl contender from week 1 in decades. Many, many decades. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, just share it with the friend still. And, like the video if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see more shit like this. We're about 100 away from hitting 1,000, something like that, 100, 150. So we're getting to 1,000, which is wild. So yeah, thank you guys and have a great day.